welcome to Uptown Studios Live. Today, I'm here with one of our Uptown Studios team members, Ryan Logan. He's our director of photography. Welcome, Ryan.
Hi, Tina. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm so glad that you could join us, and we're going to talk about video today.
I'm happy to be here.
It's good for you to be here. I want to start with, how much experience do you have? When did you first start shooting video?
Wow, it's been quite a while. I started shooting video, producing cable television commercials actually in 1996.
Oh man,
so it's been a long time. How many years is that?
It's 10, 25 years. 25 years.
Okay.
Oh, it's happy anniversary.
Yeah, I'm good at video, bad at math. So there you go.
It's your silver anniversary.
Yes, and this is what happens.
Yeah, you get a little silver with it. That's right. But if you shave that, you still have that baby face.
I know.
So what was different in 96? Was it still
wow. What's interesting is I started, that was right when the first 3-chip camera came out. I missed the whole film.
You did?
Generation. Yeah, I just missed it. It was coming out of that. So I acquired the very first Sony 3-chip cameras for my camera kit. So it was all digital for me from the very beginning.
Man, but it's just gotten better and better.
Oh, it's incredible.
I know it's getting better and better because you have the most expensive toys that I have to buy.
I know. I'm sorry about that.
You're getting your live stream hookup. Should arrive today or tomorrow.
Yes, I can't wait for that. That's one of the interesting things that have come out of COVID, and the technology was always there, but it's been used so much now during the COVID era where we have the ability to link up crews and crew members from all over the world to be all in one studio and stream what the camera is seeing and hearing directly to, say, a director in Florida or in Europe. It doesn't.
This is amazing. I know we're getting these new jobs from people that are coming in from all over the U.S. They have a Sacramento person that they need to get video on, and now they can direct as we're shooting.
Yeah, and it's so nice because we get to go directly out of the camera into this great live streaming device, and they get to hear and see exactly what the camera sees and hears, and they can direct the talent just as if they were there in the studio. It's really a neat thing. I miss all the crews being there, but this is a wonderful substitute when it can't happen.
Yeah, well, and it's for those people that are producing things that are out of town. They don't have to travel, so it really cuts down some of the price of producing a video.
Oh, a huge cost saver when you think about the logistics of bringing people from New York and Florida all to Sacramento.
Oh, I know.
I've been in those situations, yeah.
So, what's the new stuff that's happening? I mean, talk about COVID. I mean, COVID, we just took a hell of a drop once COVID hit.
The video industry as a whole, from just local cable production type of, small productions all the way up to, big motion pictures was hit. It was tremendous. I mean, it went to zero almost overnight. And so it's nice to see it coming back. But and if I never have to edit another Zoom video, that would be awesome. Yeah,
so we did. That's what we did. We created situations like this that Ryan would tape remotely, right?
Yeah. We screen capture or capture within Zoom, and then that's the footage we were using. So you can imagine.
Yeah, especially when they're in the middle of talking and then they go.
That's right.
And you have to figure it out. Right? It's those freezes.
B-roll. I need B-roll.
I need B-roll right here. I've got their voice, but I lost their image. Help me. They have a dirty camera. Clean your lens.
Yeah. So we learned a lot about giving direction to folks on the other end, background, don't cut your head off, don't sit too low, all those things that we tried to improve the video as much as we could. But we were very, very limited to the quality of the Wi-Fi connection we have.
And their camera.
And that too. That's true.
It's like both of those things. So we're coming out of that.
Yeah.
I want to talk about our space because at Uptown Studios, we have this great 4,000 square foot space that's just beautiful. That nobody is there. We have 2 people that are working out of the office, and we're converting it to much more of a video studio. We have the backdrops and the lights are built in, and we're ready. Talk about shooting in the studio.
Yeah, so the studio is great for we have all the different backdrops we can bring in. We can also do lighting type backdrops and different things. So it's pretty versatile. Smaller type shoots, 14, we'll say 14-foot wall to shoot on, that type of thing. But green room, a kitchen. So you can do a lot of stuff there and be really comfortable.
Now, we shot that Future Forward video there, didn't we?
No, the Future Forward one that I have was out on location.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Hey, why don't we show that? And then we'll talk about location shooting.
In the future, I want to be a software engineer. I need to finish high school with a high GPA to get into a good program, so I need to stay focused and dedicated. When I'm not at school, I'm playing sports, baseball and basketball. I am a team player. I practice and do what I have to do to help my team. I don't want to let them down. I've learned a lot about what marijuana is like today. It can mess up my athletic and my academic life. So I won't use marijuana.
All right, so that was so cute. So with Future Forward, we really tried to use students that are local, and we did a lot of training to get them to be camera ready and practice. Talk about some of that process that we did.
Yeah, I mean, he was absolutely wonderful. He was wonderful to work with. KJ is his name, and we shot that all at a high school, and at his high school, I believe. Uh-huh. And it was just a lot of prep that happened behind the scenes with him talking, trying to be natural on camera. Just a lot of the things that he talked about were actually his own words that we helped with after the fact. So we kind of turned him loose on the camera and just get it all out. And then we'd help him. It's like we'd help him figure out, what are the points that we really want to hit. It's a 30-second commercial, and so not a 3 minutes. And all the footage we got of him, it could have been a 3-5 minute thing, and trying to whittle that down to a 30-second coherent commercial was challenging, but I think it turned out great. And the technique we wanted to use really just kind of beautiful lighting, yet it still looked natural. He loved playing basketball, but he's just really into school and really into his education. And so we needed to show both of those parts of him. And so him just cutting loose on the basketball court, but yet that study time, because he takes it serious. And he's really serious about, not smoking marijuana and not getting that type of stuff in his life. He wants to focus on his future. And I think that really came through in this project.
Yeah, and this marijuana prevention and education campaign that we've been working on for several years, and we continue. We're doing some anti-vaping spots. What else are we doing for them?
That's currently the ones we're working on now through the COVID side of it. We couldn't shoot at locations, and so we had to go to animations. And we went that route through that period of time, and we had some really great animation versions of that come out of it, which were fun to do as well.
Yeah. So we've done a lot for Future Forward.
I would say at this point we've produced 60, maybe 70 different commercials for them. Yeah,
and it goes on and on and on, and it never stops, because there's always a new group of kids that's coming up that needs to see that there's an option to choose not to do things, not to succumb to peer pressure. And like in our tagline, Designs for Social Change is all what we're about, and creating these campaigns that are about behavior change and awareness. I love it. I just love all this stuff. It really gets the point across. I want to talk a little bit about how video has changed through time. I mean, in 2007 is when social media opened up. Still, we're not doing a lot of videos on social media in 2007, but by 2010,
Mhm.
We really saw that people were watching more videos on social media. And what's the difference of a social media spot compared to a broadcast spot?
Well, it's a lot shorter for one, and so it has to be really focused. It has to be focused on a topic, and it has to be apparent, I think, right off the bat when it first gets there. When the viewer first sees it, they need to know what you're talking about. There's not a lot of time to figure it out on the back end, right?
Yeah.
In 30 seconds, you have a little bit more time to make people think, I think. But when you have 10 or 15 seconds, it's got to be apparent.
Say it. Say what you mean.
Exactly, and it has to be eye-catching, and it has to be memorable. And so, I like the approach of creating longer formats and then figuring out how to break them up into that social media length style. And a lot of that comes in preparation, because sometimes you don't have these sound bites that work well, and so you need to make sure when you're going that route, creating a 30 or 60-second version of this, that you can break those out into 15 seconds and make them understandable. That the point still comes across.
So and it's having people that are on camera that know how to pause, so you can edit.
I can get out in between words. That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
So that they do take a breath, and they give you a moment to cut there, and there's your talking point. So I know that we do a lot of 2 to 5 minute videos that are much longer. And I like to tell people, it's like, go to your YouTube channel and see where people are clicking off, because if you don't have a call to action in the first 15 to 35 seconds, you may miss them, because they're not going to make it all the way to the end anymore.
Yeah.
People really click off. So how do you do that? How do you factor that in a longer video?
You just, if there's something that you need, some action they need to take, if that's the goal, you've got to build it in, whether it is that call to action, it's mentioned up front, you front load it, and that way it's okay if they bail out at midway through. You've got to build that in.
They got the message.
Yeah. And then, once you have that, then you can kind of evenly disperse your message throughout it. But you definitely want to front load your message if that's the case. If you don't think they're going to hang on for the full time.
Front load it, man. You got to get it in there. So so as a producer, you're working with the people on camera. Yeah. I was on a walk this morning with my dog, and from the time it took me to walk from this side of their house to this side of their house, this guy was out talking to his neighbor. I didn't know who he was. He said, it's like he said it 12 times, and he was just talking about something, but I happened to hear that he said, so how do you, and people don't even know that they're doing it.
They
so
don't.
When you're working with people on camera, how do you make them comfortable?
There's a couple different approaches. It's really hard to explain, but I see it more prevalent in younger generations. Trying to make them comfortable and getting their thoughts together. And a lot of that has to do with prep work. With Future Forward, going back to that, our client spends a lot of time with the teenagers up front. This is a week, 2 weeks prior, talking about the points, having them write them down and not memorizing them, but just understanding, this is what I'm going to talk about. And then my approach as a director a lot of times is I ask the question and I just see what I'm going to get. Sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's not so great. And then that's where you need to start revising them and helping them through the thought process of, how do we get what you just said in 5 minutes down to 15 seconds? How do we do that? And it comes with some experience on getting people to stop saying the ums and the uhs and the so's and things like that. All they are is really just their verbal crutches, because you just don't have a beat on what you want to say. And it's just getting them comfortable. I've seen directors really just pounce on folks. And what it does is it just stifles them from that point, and it's really hard to get them out. So it's just being friendly. It's just being nice. and being really understanding that they really have not done it before. I've worked with, and that doesn't mean really honed actors. They do it all the time. They flub up on their lines, and so nobody is, everyone. It happens to everyone, is what I'm trying to say. But the folks that are really nervous, you just got to step back, let them be nervous, and just work through it. Step away from the camera for a little bit. I mean, that's okay. Yeah. You don't just have to keep that hot light on them until they get it right. It's just learn to walk away. It's okay. Take a breath. Let's recoup and let's try that again. And we've had really good success with that approach. Yelling at people and because they say like too much is just not. You go backwards that way.
Yeah. So I know we do some trainings on video through the California Capital Women's Business Center, and what we're always trying to tell people is that you have a video camera in your pocket. Get a tripod and stand in front of your camera and record what it is that you want to say 1,000 times if you need to, because the more you do it, what kind of tips do you have for somebody that, let's say they're a small business and they want to produce their own video? I mean, because a lot of people are doing that to start out, and it's great for social media.
It's practice really does make perfect. And the great thing about it is you just don't have to send it. You don't have to send it, right? You can record it and throw it in the trash. That is
right.
Okay.
You didn't even waste any film on it, because film wasted some pixels.
That's right. Film is free these days. And so you can just keep doing it over and over and over again. And then there are certain tips and tricks that you have to, for framing and lighting. So you can, if you get yourself in the, what we'll call that the perfect kind of atmosphere. Yeah. Like that's what we try to avoid. Yeah. Or that, so there's angles and things like that to just optimize the viewer's experience. And then it comes down to your personal performance. How are you going to deliver this? Looking at the camera, not reading it, things like that. What you're wearing, all that has to do a lot with just the whole image, the whole picture. But
Ryan won't let me wear my white shirts.
Cameras these days are getting more and more forgiving. So when it happens and I have someone show up with a white shirt, I don't freak out as much as I used to.
Yeah, we can adjust for it now.
Yeah. But it is nice to not have to deal with that in crazy patterns that cause an array and wiggly lines on your screen.
Yes.
That still happens.
That still happens.
Yeah. So we will up front, prior to doing a shoot, we have kind of a canned letter that we send out that has all the different things to be aware of, hair, makeup, clothes, logo.
Don't wear somebody else's logo on your shirt. Don't wear a Nike shirt. Don't wear right?
That's right.
We want to make sure that you're representing yourself and there's no distractions.
Yeah. And to me, there's nothing worse than having to have this blurry little blob on your lapel.
Right. And so it's like for me, it's like I put my dog over there. There, and I put this light on that picture, but I'm blocking the light, so it kind of gives me a nice little background.
Yeah.
But I do have construction workers at my house that I had to warn Ryan about. If there's pounding, I'm going to mute myself, and then it's the Ryan show.
Oh my gosh! Well, I don't hear anything, so that's good.
Well, and there's things like so. At our studio, there's a big building that's going in a couple blocks away, or it's regional transit, or it's
like
Caltrans.
Yeah, it's the overpasses are all getting worked on.
Then they're doing pile drivers, and so it's like this incessant boom, 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 and we had to cancel a shoot because there were pile drivers. Yeah, and you just have to be aware, and sometimes you just have to say we're going to have to reschedule because this is not stopping.
Yeah. Sound is a nemesis, especially when you're on a big scene.
Let's have another spot. I want to show the Rabobank spot.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Hi, Mom.
Stay on top of your finances wherever you are with the Rabobank mobile app. like transferring money between your Rabobank accounts. It's a convenient and easy way to take care of your banking.
Mommy, that was so fun.
Go mobile with the Rabobank app.
All right, so talk about that one.
So that was actually one of a series of 4 broadcast commercials that we produced, all highlighting their new mobile app that they came out with. And so this happened a few years ago. So, everyone has mobile apps now, but that was new to Rabobank at the time. And they just wanted it family friendly to, everyone can use this app. It's super easy and you can just do it on the go, right? So we had different scenarios, but this one was a mom and her daughter at a playground. And she did some banking while she was sitting on a bench watching her daughter play on the playground. So it was as simple as that. But we had a really good time producing these. We took the client through the entire production process, through our initial kind of kickoff meeting where we decided on the concepts of these commercials, or just the ideas, just the bare bones. This is what we're thinking about. And then we took those into a storyboard and we storyboarded out 4 different concepts. And they actually went with all 4. They wanted to do all 4 of them. And
that's awesome.
It was really fun. Yeah. And so we did location scouting. We did some, talent scouts. And so all these were professional actors that we brought in to various locations throughout Sacramento. That was actually shot at downtown at a park. What's the big park?
McKinley Park. It was at McKinley Park.
I can't remember now. Yeah, McKinley?
Yeah, it was McKinley. I could recognize it.
Oh, okay. The play structure. Yeah. So that was at McKinley Park. And that was a really, really fun one to do. The hands, interesting point, the hands and all the digital stuff was all done in studio, and we stitched those all together to make it look like we shot that at the park. And so that was a pretty cool effect that we did to match the hands and all the effects and everything that were happening.
Yes. So I remember in the background there was one with a farmer.
Yes.
That we did, and the farmer had really ugly hands. He had well-worked hands, and it was just not delightful. So we cut the sleeves off the shirt he was wearing, and put them on a 6'3" our hand model, Brad Johnson. Model.
Yeah.
He's also our drone operator and lighting and tech and grip. So we cut the shirt off and then videotaped his hands on the phone.
Yes.
It was very funny. Very, very funny.
It was great. Yes. That was some issues with some hands that we didn't anticipate. And when I started editing and saw some hands in 4K resolution, we couldn't broadcast those hands.
No. And you have to get broadcast music, which is more expensive. There's just a lot of details in a video like that in order to get it to be professional. We have one other video. It is the California Fire Safe Council. Where was that one?
Yeah, and this is a longer video.
We'll show you just a piece of this.
Okay.
We live in a wildfire environment, and if you live in a wildfire environment, you're either going to participate and be proactive or lay back and be a victim. So we took action. Actually, our biggest fire was the 2007-2008 Santiago fire, which burned through the canyons and actually took out 10 homes. And that we did have a fire safe council at that time, and I was a member of it. But since that, it's really motivated the people to want to be more proactive and protect their properties. I was one of the founding directors. There were about 5 of us that started it, and we made a motion to pull away from the Inter Canyon League and develop our own independent Fire Safe Council, which has worked out very well for us. I developed 2 major brochures for this community. One's called
That's enough. So it goes on.
Yeah.
Tell them details.
That was a really fun project too. So this was some success stories that we were producing for the California Fire Safe Council. And this one, Tom was such a character, and he looked so good on camera. You know, that cowboy hat and his rustic deck that he had out there. It was just the perfect setting for something like this. But this was a really neat project because we got to travel all over California. These all happened down in Southern California, but it was these organizations of county, these fire safe councils and their success stories and how they came about. And unfortunately, usually the catalyst was a really big fire that happened in their area that caused this to happen. But it was just highlighting their journey through, setting up the nonprofit and how it all evolved in their community outreach and what they're doing now to prevent these really big, catastrophic fires that happen in their canyons, because they really are just like chimneys out there.
Well, it's like the fires in Santa Rosa and the fires in Paradise, where it just swept through, and it is really empowering the residents to harden, which is you cleaning the areas around your homes. You're not having any brush up against the house. It's just teaching people how to protect their residences. Right,
and the communication in the canyon, making sure that there's ways that they can communicate when there are power outages and things like that, to let everyone know there's a fire. It's time to get out of the canyon. And all the evacuation processes that they're putting in place so nobody gets caught. And
well, and a lot of them, they only have one way in and one way out, and it's getting those evacuation plans early enough so that people are getting out.
Yeah. So this was it was a great learning. That's one of the things I love about video, is that I get to go visit a lot of places and learn about a lot of things. So I'm a little bit of an expert in like a lot of things.
Oh, hell to the yeah. I have learned so much in my lifetime, because every time we do a marketing campaign, every time we do a video, you got to know about it so that you're creating this information that's going to be received very well by the target audience.
Right.
So you need to know the subject matter, and then you need to know who the target audience is so that they're going to receive it really well.
Yeah. And so that was kind of the approach on these too, is we wanted to get these folks at their homes, the residents, and show them in their natural habitat. Better term, but
it was great. I love the rocking chair on his front porch.
It's so good.
Oh my God, it's down home.
Yeah, that's just going to resonate with all the folks that live in that area, right? They all are going to know him, and they're going to understand what he's talking about. And so that was kind of our
anytime we can get a leader in a community that tell their story, then you're gonna capture all the people that follow him. Or her. Right. So what's new? What's new? What's on our new things?
Oh gosh. We've got some upcoming projects. I know that. And we've got some that we're always working on, but I'm really looking forward to now some normalcy coming, onto the set. I'm really happy about that. And just getting to see people again out in the field. That's something that we haven't been able to do for a year. That's a really long time to not practice your skills, it's learning. I'm always looking for new lighting techniques and new things to implement in the field. And
we have drone now.
Yeah.
We have a drone and a drone operator. So in fact, I need to get you guys out in the field to do some Uptown studio stuff.
There we go.
Just go play.
Yeah.
In some of the downtime. Play with the drone and play with the, I don't know, everything.
I don't know.
We're doing a Life Looks Good. So not only do we do video, we do photography.
We do.
We're doing a Life Looks Good on You second shoot, where it's really middle of the summer and people are really hot. And the whole idea is to get young people to wear their life jackets when they're in the water.
That's been a fun ongoing, project of ours. I don't even know how many years. 4 years?
It's 2015 is when we started.
So long. Okay.
Yeah.
It has been longer than that's right. So I've done photography with, the professional soccer team and a lot of the Sac State volleyball and basketball players. And then just local folks at the river, just pulling people in and getting them doing fun stuff on the river, wearing life jackets, just showing, you could still have fun in a life jacket.
In fact, if you have a young person in your life age 14 to 24. Oh, we're doing another shoot on July 17th, I think it is.
24th, I
Email
think.
me.
I think it's
Huh?
the 24th, I think.
24th. Email me, and we'll get your young person to be a model. Maybe they'll be on a billboard. Who knows?
Yeah.
Email me at tina@uptownstudios.net, and we'll get you scheduled. And it's a very fun photo shoot. You have these little up-and-coming models that are like, all excited. All right. Well, Ryan, thanks for being on the show with me. This is our
awesome.
show for today.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. I loved it.
It's always a pleasure to talk to you, Ryan. You know so much. You're so knowledgeable in this. And everyone, I hope you will join us next Tuesday at 11 o'clock. Same time, same place. We'll have somebody new to talk about. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.